And we're back with another Sculpt Session Sunday. Welcome back. I am here with the beautiful, the wonderful Mandizzle with the Shizzle.
Hey guys.
And I'm your host, Sash. I didn't introduce myself, of course not. But we are going to be talking about you are who you surround yourself with. And we have spoken about similar topics on Mandy's podcast before. We've spoken about it on my podcast of how much our surroundings influence us, of how much the people that we surround ourselves influence us. And we recently also did a podcast on Mandy's channel talking about epigenetics. So keep an eye out on that. She's going to be posting it soon. I'm going to have her info linked in the show notes, so go ahead and check that out. But I really just want to kick this off and start by saying that your environment will either pull you forward or it will quietly keep you stuck. And a lot of the times we don't even realize that we're stuck until we almost do like an audit of where we're at, how are we reaching our goals, how do we feel around certain people. And I just to preface by saying like this episode isn't about cutting people off dramatically or just completely revamping everything in your life, but it's about having the self-awareness of how do I feel around these people? Are these people on the same wavelength as me, or are they swimming in a lake and I'm swimming in the ocean? Like, where are we? You know? Are we on the same continent? Are we on the same playing field? Because a lot of the times we think that we are, and maybe one day we were, but then we changed. And when you change, a lot of things change in your life too. So, in your fitness journey, this often feels like, and just in your life journey, this feels like taking like a life audit, like I said, of like, how do I feel around these people? And oftentimes you will feel lonely before you start actually feeling aligned. And that is feelings that I've expressed having. These are feelings that I'm sure Mandy has from time to time. And like we've expressed to each other that sometimes we feel lonely a lot more times than sometimes, but like not in a bad way, just in a way of as things change in our lives and we make decisions to separate ourselves from people, it could be hard while you're in that like transitioning period. And I also want to say that that loneliness that we do feel is like self-inflicted loneliness. Like we choose to not surround ourselves around certain people. We choose to not have a crowd of 15 close, mindless friends because I feel like quality over quantity goes a long way. And yeah, I just want to ask like a straight up question. Like, have you noticed yourself in certain environments or around certain people that make it harder or easier for you to stay consistent, to reach your goals, to just get to that next level?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Several instances actually I can think of throughout my life. The first one that comes to mind was with a group of friends I made at the first hospital I worked at. I was an intern and I was making friends with one of them was a medical assistant, and then two of them were nurses. And we would all go out and we would go out to eat. And I used to think like, oh, this is so cool. Like I'm getting included and I'm the new kid. But then like I started realizing, okay, we're only ever going out to eat really crappy food. And the whole time that we're out, everybody's only complaining about things
Mm,
at the hospital. And then I leave there like emotionally exhausted and drained. And I'm like, I
yeah,
like these people and I want them to like me. But in a very, I mean, selfish way, selfish in the sense of like I wanted to grow as a person. Like I was not getting anything out of the relationships that was contributing in a positive way. And I
yeah,
felt like because of where they were, I also could not contribute to them in a positive way either.
yeah,
So it sucked, but it was one of those like friendship groups that kind of fizzled out on its own. But I just remember like I was so excited to be included and so excited to find people that were like wanting to hang out with me, and then like just feeling really let down because it wasn't what I had hoped.
yeah. No, that totally
Yeah.
makes sense. And that's such a real example because I'm sure a lot of people could relate to that, you know, being in certain work environments and like you spend so much time around these people that you then create these connections and relationships. And then when you see them and are out with them or spend a little extra time with them, and you really start seeing like, oh, like not that these people directly do something to make me feel bad, but I don't feel good about them. Like, I don't
Mhm.
feel good about them. I don't feel good around them. It's draining mentally, emotionally. Like, someone doesn't have to hit you upside the head to hurt you and like to make you feel like not safe in a way, I
Mhm.
guess, like is the best way that I can put it. And, I could relate to that with friendships that I've had of also having like the really close couple of girlfriends where it was like, oh, we would always hang out and like do things. And then when I started making changes in my life, and I mean, I knew from the beginning that I didn't love this life that I was hanging out with them in and like doing just stupid things, but talking about stupid things, complaining, just not living a full life to where I saw myself being. And I started making lifestyle changes for myself. Like it was immediately like, I'm not interested to sit with you. I don't want to hear what you have to say. Like it sounds like you're making a lot of excuses for yourself. Like I immediately became the person that no one also wanted to be around because it was like, oh, Sasha, what do you think? I was like, you don't want to know what I think.
Mhm.
You don't want to know what I think because I think I don't want to be here. Like I think I'm
Yeah.
not feeling good about that. And that brings me to when things in your life start to change, when your life starts to change, you and but your environment stays the same. Like it's very hard to actually make changes in your life because your environment shapes your habits and the things that you do a lot more than you think. It's like you know what they say, like you hang out around smokers, you'll smoke. You hang out around drinkers, you'll drink. You hang around people who are always upset and like finding the bad in life. I'm sure that during that time when they were always complaining, even if maybe you didn't find their even if you didn't find something wrong with what they were complaining about after they had complained about it, you're like, oh, actually, yeah, that is a problem. And now all of a sudden it's like problem on top of problem. And the thing is if your environment is constantly in this like, I guess, negative, not aligned with you, it's going to be very hard for you to get out of it. And it's not necessarily that you're like lacking the discipline. You might just be outnumbered by the people that you're surrounding yourself with.
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, I think that's probably the hardest part is that you have to understand that in order to do better for yourself, there's going to be an uncomfortable period.
Yeah.
And like you said, like it doesn't have to be like a hard cut off, like cut this person out of your life, but there's going to be an uncomfortable either conversation or an uncomfortable like slow drift away, and it's necessary. Like what do we say all the time? You grow in the discomfort.
Growth is on the other side of discomfort. You
Hmm.
grow with it, you grow on the other side of it. And I feel like, I mean, exactly what you said, it's hard. It's hard. And you do have to go through that period where it is conflicting, it is isolating, it is sometimes you even second guess yourself because, and I'm sure you could relate to this, but when you started getting healthier and but you went on like your health, like really into like your health journey, it's like being the healthy one is feels isolating when no one around you is healthy. Being the consistent one when the people around you don't value health is conflicting. It's like, I'm sorry that I want to wake up early in the morning to do my morning routine, to go to the gym, to track my macros. Like, why is that being looked down upon? It will only ever be looked down upon by people who don't do it.
They're projecting,
Yeah.
usually out of jealousy. I
Yeah.
think that was one of the things that like really got to me when I first started getting healthier. I and I think it was very subconscious. I'm going to give them the credit and the benefit of the doubt there and just say it was subconscious. I was incredibly isolated, specifically at work, to the point where like people would not sit at the same lunch table as me because they didn't want to be triggered by the clean, healthy food I was eating because they were eating like a cheeseburger McDonald's wrap they picked up on the way in or something every single day.
Mm,
Or like I would get comments, people that would sit with me would be like, "Oh, what did we make today?" And it wasn't in a like interested way. It was like, "Oh, you're so healthy." And it would come like the words themselves would be like a compliment, but the tone would be very judgmental,
Yeah.
or the comments like, "Well, I wish I could do what you're doing." And I just got to a point where I stopped responding because in my head I'm like, "Well, if you put half the effort towards doing what I do and stop fucking complaining, you too could also be where
Like
I'm
what's
at."
what's stopping you from doing it because you don't want to take the 30 minutes to prep your food and you would rather sit on your couch and watch TV or scroll on Instagram Reels and dig your nose into other people's business instead of taking care of yourself?
Right there. That's the, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing of like living that healthy lifestyle. Like for anyone who's listening that is living that healthy lifestyle or is trying to get into it, or maybe is an active bodybuilder and is just like here listening into what we're saying, the bodybuilders could very much relate that bodybuilding and living in a healthy lifestyle, like you set such high standards for yourself, and as you fucking should. As you should. You should be setting high standards for yourself. And it is a high standard lifestyle to be a bodybuilder, competitively or not, and to live that kind of lifestyle because it's structured food. It's structured workouts. It's a structured schedule. It's saying no more often than saying yes and setting those firm boundaries and being able to hold your ground and not lollygagging, like not fucking around. Like that's just the best way that I can put it. And bodybuilders, and I don't even want to just like put it towards bodybuilders, but people who take care of themselves are so misunderstood when it comes to this because people are like, oh, like you said, like, why are you eating this? Or like, oh, what do we have for lunch today? It's like something better than what you're eating. And if you were to respond like that, it's like, now you're a piece of shit, but it's like, you're saying
Right.
the truth. And I think there's a really big difference that needs to be spoken about the people who support you, then there's the people who tolerate you, and then there's the people that are quietly hoping that you stop because they can't stand to see you doing something that they can't. And can't is such a fake word because it's not that they can't, it's that they make the choice
They don't
not
want
to.
to.
They choose not to do it.
Mhm.
And I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like anyone who's in a health and fitness journey, you, me, have once been told that it's like too much, that you're doing too much, that you became too much. And it's not that you're too much, it's that you just outgrew environments that were built for a smaller version of you, and you are not a small version of you anymore.
And those people get uncomfortable with the new version of
Exactly.
you. Yeah.
Exactly. Because now they're almost set. They feel like they are not on the same playing field as you anymore. And like now you've taken it up a notch and they think that you're trying to be like all this, all that, when in reality you're just trying to be better for you.
Hmm. Yeah. It's lonely and it feels isolating, but at the same time, it feels so good because it's like you work so hard to get to that leveled up place.
Yeah.
And it can feel hard when the people that should be or were previously the most supportive in your life, not that they aren't supportive, but it's almost like they just like some people don't know what to do with you, period.
Yeah.
Like I'm specifically thinking about my mom now, where she would get to,
Ditto.
yeah, like I
Ditto.
when I first told her that I was going to compete in a bodybuilding competition, her first words, I could like smack my head against the wall about to repeat this, but it was, "Oh, well, just don't get too big." I'm like, I'm, I step on stage at 114 pounds. I've never been 114 pounds in my life until that point. And I'm like, yep, don't worry about me getting too big, like holding
Too
on my
big.
muscle for dear life. Like it's, but again, I think that it's that fear of the unknown. If people don't know what to expect from you, then they don't know how they fit into your life or if they even do anymore. And instead of like, having a mature conversation about it, most people just choose to lash out.
Yeah. And you know what? What you just said is like they don't know what to do with you anymore. And like if they're even meant to be a part of your life, not everyone is meant to come with you into every season.
Yeah.
Someone could be just there. Like you, for example, take your favorite TV show. Sometimes one of the characters that maybe you loved so much, their contract is up, so they just can't be in that show anymore, and they either kill them off, send them off somewhere, they turn into a character that you just don't care to watch anymore, and that's it. It's like, oh my God, what was the movie? I didn't watch it, but I think it was like either Lord of the Rings or something, or Game of Thrones, one or the other. And one of my clients was telling me, she was like, if you watch it, like, don't get attached to anyone because they just kill characters off. Like every
Game of
episode,
Thrones.
Game of Thrones, she was like, you fall in love with a character, and the next episode they're dead. And I mean, think about Fourth Wing, the book. It's like literally the book starts with them having to cross the parapet, and immediately it's like you fall in love with this character immediately because he had just was just about to propose to his girlfriend or just did or something like in the very beginning. And like immediately just falls off the parapet and dies, and you're like, what the fuck?
Spoiler alert, guys. Spoiler
Oh,
alert.
sorry. But that's like the first 20, 30 pages of the book. So like, anyways, it
Yeah.
gets a lot better. I'm not gonna say who else dies because I'm gonna break hearts, but you know who I'm talking about. Like you fall in love with certain characters and they die. And like, not to say that we're talking about movies and books right now, okay? But like in real life, you might have friends that you love. You might have family that you love. You might have people that you love and that you want to be around, but they're just not meant to come with you into every season because they just can't keep up with your growth. And that's fine, but that's also like you just have to be okay with that. Because
Mhm.
the longer that you hold on to that and the longer that you hold on to people that are not meant to be in that season, the longer that taking they are taking up space for someone else that could come into their place and actually be in alignment with you.
Mhm.
And that was a really big thing for me in the last year, specifically with like family and even with friends, is I feel like we had like a little friend group going on, and I held on to one of the friendships so much that I was so blinded to see that like, hey, that person actually had I would hate to actually be her friend like deeper than where we were, but I love being your friend so fucking much.
Yeah.
And it's like, I held on to like an idea of what seemed good, what seemed like what I wanted, but she was not meant to come with me into this season or any season after that.
Mhm.
You are. And like, you know what, but
Yeah.
like sometimes it's what you don't know, you don't know. And unless you're willing to go through that period where there was a period of time when like you and I weren't as close, not for any bad reasons, but like we just
Mhm.
weren't because we both had our focus on like other
Prep.
friends and prep and other things. But it's, you go through those lonely periods, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. Like it's very normal to be lonely. Like right before we started this podcast, Mandy and I were talking about it for just a moment. And I said, I don't want it to sound weird because I love our friendship and I love my relationship so much. And like I love my clients and the people that I talk to often, but there's still feelings of loneliness that comes up sometimes. And it isn't a bad thing. Like let's normalize it. Like it's okay to feel lonely and not have a group chat with 15 girlfriends in it.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't
I couldn't,
actually.
yeah.
I was just on a group chat with work for someone's baby shower, and my phone going off like every other second was like extremely like, oh God, this is because in my brain, I'm like, if my phone's going off, it's somebody I love, or it's a client, or it's like an email that I need to like address right now. So for me, it was like ping, ping, ping. I'm like, oh my God, my
Nonstop.
anxiety just keeps going up.
It's like, what is going on there?
Who's bringing what sort of chicken buffalo dip? I'm like, I don't, I don't care.
No, seriously. Seriously. And like the only other thing that I want to touch on that loneliness phase when you are transitioning out of the people that you used to surround yourself with to new people that are yet to be in your life is that loneliness often just means that you left that old environment and you haven't fully arrived to the new one. It's like when you leave one destination in your car and you're driving,
Mhm.
you are driving to the next spot. You can't, we don't teleport. We haven't figured out how to do that yet. Maybe
Yeah.
one day we will. but it takes time. So I just want you to know that these feelings are valid, these feelings are real, they pass, everyone feels them. And sometimes the season of isolation is the season of building self-trust. It's the season of reflecting on your values. It's the season on reflecting on what is and what isn't in alignment with you, because the worst thing that you can do is keep yourself in an environment and keep yourself around people that do not feel good to you.
Yeah.
And like not to make it sound scary, but like we have very borrowed time here on earth. Like, God willingly make it to 80, 90, healthy, doing all that stuff, but even that's like 80 years. That's it. So it's
Hmm.
like, why are you going to spend a day being around someone that makes you feel anything less than good?
Wow. No, good point. No notes.
You know? Maybe
Yeah.
one day they made you feel great. And I'm not saying like you had a little argument or fight and like they don't make you feel good. So like, fuck
Yeah.
you.
No.
Like, no, we're saying like you clearly notice that you've outgrown them and you could still have love for them and just love them at a distance
Hmm.
and surround yourself with others or just with
Yeah.
yourself.
And on the other hand of sides too, just to add in, because some people do grow and change and they do take people with them. And like, that's great. That's fantastic. Congratulations and kudos. You guys have figured out how to grow together, even if
Yeah.
it's not at the same rate. And I mean, like, for example, I've grown tremendously and I still have like my brothers in my life. And like
Yeah.
there have been periods where like maybe we don't talk as much and like we didn't have as much in common because like one of them's 17 years older than me. So like what are we gonna talk about? But like now that we're both adults, it's like we're closer now. We've grown. We can be a part of each other's lives in a bigger capacity. So just because somebody maybe needs to, you have to have temporary distance from them, it doesn't mean that they can't grow and catch up and be in the same spot and you guys continue a relationship later either. So
Yeah.
just to kind of give that perspective, we're talking about more often than not, yes, you have to be a little lonely and find your tribe that way, but every now and then you can take some people with you that are
Yeah.
willing to grow, and that involves emotional maturity too.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that because I'm not saying like switch your people nonstop. Like there are going to be people who want to grow with you, who you do grow with. I mean, I'm sure that in your relationship, you guys are growing together. I know in our relationship, we're growing together. Like it's you and I are growing together in our businesses, in our lives, in our personal development and everything. So for sure, take people with you. I'm more so saying like when you are around someone and you're like, we have nothing to talk about, we don't see eye to eye, like it's and you put a lot of your time and effort into those people.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, maybe we need to leave a room that's like maybe we need to walk into a new room for a little bit, if not
Yeah.
forever. And like if they
Yeah.
follow, if your growth inspires them and your change inspires them, that's awesome. But then also to play devil's advocate, like if you're growing at like this rate and they're like over here and you keep going and they're only over here, like like you could be
Yeah.
growing and other people might outgrow you. So it really is just about doing those self-reflections, doing those self-audits, reflecting on who energizes me, who drains me, who supports my goals, who subtly pulls me away from them, who full blown pulls me away from them. Like, oh, you don't need to go to the gym today. What? Oh, you don't need to track your macros. Oh, you don't need to order that with protein. You can just eat. They're sabotaging you because they can't do it themselves because they're scared to do it themselves. So, like, ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself, most importantly, who do I feel my best around? Who do I feel my truest and realest and most authentic self around? Who do I not need to put on a mask around? And spend time around those people. And if you don't have a lot of those people, or you only have one, or you only have two, you have a lot of people. Because the truth of the matter is, and I might be totally wrong, but whenever I see girls who have 10 friends, 15 friends, like close best friends, I'm like, are they all really your close best friends? Or like, do you guys like secretly hate each other and like talk shit about each other in other group chats? Like, you have a main group chat, but then everyone has their own little side gig group chats where they talk shit.
Yeah, that one. That one. Hmm.
And I'm all for girl friendship, so please prove me wrong. I pray to God that one day I am proved wrong and we are surrounded by so many like-minded women, and I'm sure there are so many just like you and just like me out there, and just like whoever's listening that can relate to this. But it's also, finding your tribe, like your people, being in alignment with them, and being willing to have the growing pains because growth requires growing pains.
Yeah. And I think each season of life, you're going to have those growing pains anyway. So it's like you may as well embrace them. And I, personally, for me, I think as I've gotten older, I still feel like those lonely emotions, like here and there, I still feel them strong, but it's also gotten a lot easier to be like, okay, that person wasn't for me. I'm bummed, but like, ooh, wait, hold on. I just read this like sentence that, or like a question this woman asks herself when things don't go the way she wants them to go.
Spill.
And it's, I just thought it was so lovely where she says, I'm so excited to see why this didn't work out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's so dope. I'm taking that because like what a positive spin on something that is otherwise maybe a little disappointing or a little sad.
Yeah. No, I love
Yeah.
that. I'm so excited to see why this didn't work out.
Yeah.
What the bigger plan was.
Yeah. Because there always is one.
Yeah, agreed. Well,
Yeah.
this was great. This was amazing. Um, Anyone who's feeling any of these ways, I hope this gives you some reassurance that you're not alone and that I know that this episode initially started with talking about environments and who you surround yourself with, and we've kind of like tumbled into this like talking about loneliness, but that's just the truth of the matter is when you surround yourself with people who don't align with you and you have to make the changes because you want to live a better life and you make the choice to make a change, you will go through the hardships of that change, and that is beautiful. That is beautiful because it's either you go through the hardships of the change or you go through the hardships of staying the same. And staying the same sucks. So
Stuck
choose your
sucks.
hard, choose your battle. Anyways, yeah, right. I feel like we're gonna start playing a video game right now, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that you got some value from here. I hope that you feel a little less lonely to know that everyone has those feelings of loneliness and you are right where you need to be, regardless of what that may look like. We are always here to support you. I love all of our little social media friends. It's always so fun to connect with you guys. So I'm gonna have, like I said, our Instagrams down in the show notes below. You are always more than welcome to connect with Mandy and myself. We love talking to you, ladies. And yeah, please, if you enjoy this podcast, give us a thumbs up. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a 5-star rating. Hop on over to Mandizzle's podcasts, which come out every Monday, unfiltered and functional. And you can catch us talking about a lot there too. So if you want to hear us yap even more, go ahead and enjoy that. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will talk to you next Sunday.
Bye.